Today we're stepping inside a truly custom home by Grand Endeavor, located here in the preserve at Elm Creek in New Braunfels, Texas. Tucked just off Highway 2722 and only about 10 minutes from downtown New Braunfels, let's take a look at what true custom construction really looks like. Hi, I'm Shauna Hanover. I live, work, and play right here in New Braunfels and throughout the Texas Hill Country. I get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every single day who are considering building, buying, or relocating to this area, whether that's 6 days or 6 months from now. If that's you, I would love to be your realtor of choice and help guide you through the process with clarity and confidence. Now, let's step inside and take a closer look at what makes this home truly custom.
So one of the things our team, thought was really important as we looked at the home is we're still here in Texas Hill Country. So while we took some, bold ideas of having these large entry areas where we have these huge soaring gables that draw your eye up north, we wanted to tie back in the natural stone that you see here. So we took a pretty rugged natural stone and applied it to the exterior in certain locations to really tone down and soften the look of the home. And then we put a nice German schmear on there. There are levels of schmear that you can add to the home. You can do a full schmear, you can do a half, 3/4. So Shauna, one of the most important things for us outside of curb appeal is that next view into the home. And so when we think about views and we think about capturing the natural landscape, we talk a lot about view corridors. And so as you walk in the front entryway here in the foyer, your eye is automatically drawn to the view that you see outside of that back slider. And so that first entry point into the home, and if you want to pan just to see sort of what that looks like from here, you can get a really good idea of how using that 10-foot tall slider allows your eye to capture the full picture, right? Now, the other component of this as well is using that slider allows us to define what is largely a large open space, and it tells us a story. It tells us that this is a specific area designed as your dining area. That is something where the client isn't going to be wasting their time by continuing the conversation, right? Our goal is to make sure that there is no time that is wasted, that we fully understand the scope of the project, that we define every inch of the project, and that for all intents and purposes, I call my job the bumpers on a bowling alley. So I talked about frameworks a little bit. There's one of my little cheeky ones, I guess.
Yeah, that's cute.
So, but when it comes to the little details like that, if somebody were to say to me, Tyler, I really want to capture this view. I bought this lot for the view. This is what's important to me. I would hate to overlook a detail as simple as, do we have the slider height correct? What sort of things are interrupting that view?
That 2 feet.
Exactly.
Like you're going to get there and not be able to cross the finish line.
Exactly.
That's a big concern for some of the clients as well. Is when we get into this, are we going to be able to make it move? Or are we going to be so far off that our dream is not going to come true? And we don't want that.
No, you can't have that. And also, that's the thing where when you have a really solid realtor relationship, right? That's where you're going to gain a ton of value when it comes to partnering with the right lenders, ensuring that you're, having a realtor who's going to act as your quarterback, doing that. So that relationship between the client and realtor, and then the client and builder and realtor, having that cohesive bond where everyone's working together for the same goal and ensuring that everybody is moving forward at a pace that is productive, but isn't too quick, right? That allows for us to fully define the scope, to complete a project the way it should be completed, and to hand over keys when the project is fully complete. That's everything.
Where do you feel that people should concentrate on when it comes to budget and keeping them in line with their budget and rooms that they're going to spend most of their time in? So we talk about primary suite, we talk about the kitchens. Where you're going to spend most of your time, do you feel it's beneficial, and do you see people investing more of their money in those spaces versus what they may feel is wasted space or lost space?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny you asked that question. I was getting my hair cut about 2 hours ago, and my hairdresser, it was a new hairdresser because I'm very bad at booking hair appointments. But she had asked me, what's the most important space in a home? And I said, there's no blanket answer for that because it is client specific. And the answer is wherever that client spends the most time, and wherever adding a particular feature or spending a little bit of extra money to create an outcome that is thoughtful enhances the functionality and the way you feel when you enter that room. And a lot of the things, like in this room, right, we're in the primary suite. This is an area where people will generally spend a little bit more money. And the idea is that when you walk through the doorway of that primary suite, something typically should tell you that that room is special, right? People have worked their entire life, and most of the rooms that we have lived in our entire life have a flat ceiling. Every different material priced out next to one another with at least a backup alternative to choose from. And that's how we define scope. And the idea is we do that for no cost. You should not have to pay for a bid. Our opinion is that is extremely important. And our hope is that once we get to that point with most folks, that relationship has been built to a level where it's almost as if we're building our own home.
Custom construction is about more than finishes. It's about vision, craftsmanship, and the right team guiding the process from start to finish. If you're considering building in New Braunfels or anywhere in the Texas Hill Country, there are important decisions to make, from selecting the right builder to understanding contracts, timelines, and lot placement. I'd love to help you navigate that process with confidence and clarity. Reach out anytime and it will always be me on the other end. Last week, I had the opportunity to tour Grand Endeavor's Parade of Homes feature and hear directly from the builder about their philosophy and process. Today, I'm walking you through one of their inventory models and layering in a few of the builder insights so you can get both perspectives. Let's go take a look, shall we? Welcome. Right off the entryway, you definitely get a feel for just how grand it is just looking right outside into your backyard. It just blends the inside and outside together seamlessly. So when you talk about custom building, they definitely take note of where window placement is so you can maximize your views. This feels very grand, very open. You have tall ceilings. You have some trade detail here right when you walk in with a beautiful light fixture, double doors, heavy doors. Then you have your private office space, flex space. If you wanted to close these, you can. Everything good? Okay. You notice the built-ins in here. Nice window, the big picture window, bringing in natural light. Great workspace, if you ask me. And then you have a dining space here. This would be more of a formal dining area. You could put a larger table here if you wanted. Again, you have the trade ceilings, a nice fixture here to anchor the space. And then you have a wet bar right off of the dining area. Great for entertaining. Again, just one of those spaces. When you move up, these are things that you may not have had in your first home, but you have the option to have them now. So I love the wet bar. Great, and the wine fridge. Okay, let's take you back this way into the kitchen. Notice the entryway, notice the trim. These are things you don't really notice in pictures, but you feel them when you're in the home, especially the cabinetry. Cabinetry in custom builds is going to be completely different than in your production builder grade. These are more solid, sturdier hardware, better hinges, more depth, more practical for everyday living. Big apron sink. You know me and the tall faucets, I got plenty of room to get my big pots under here. And again, just lifestyle, right? If you're used to cooking and you love cooking, this is a great practical function for you. You have your dishwasher here, gas cooking, lots of cabinetry, lots of drawers, space, beautiful vent hood all the way to the ceiling. It's all in the details. Light fixtures really anchor the space. And then you have another more casual dining area here that just flows, right? And everything is open. You also have a door here to go outside to your patio, which we'll show you here in a little bit. We'll go out there. Take you into the living space. You have a really nice fan. We like our fans in Texas because it's hot. You have the electric fireplace insert. If a fireplace is important to you, then when you're designing your home, make sure you include that element. And then make sure when you are in that design mode that you are thinking about your furniture placement and maybe, some items that you want displayed. Make sure you have shelving, have the flow that you want. Think always one step ahead, like you're driving a trailer, pulling a trailer. So coming into the primary, you have double doors here. I want you to realize too that this is completely separate from the rest of the house. So it really is like your own private oasis. And once you're inside the bedroom, you have your own access outside to the patio as well. Beautiful space, lots of natural light, trade ceilings, nice neutral paint color. Texture, I know texture in homes, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 price range, you get a lot of that knockdown texture on the walls, heavy texture on the ceilings. In this particular build, it's very smooth. It's a very smooth, very light texture on the walls and the ceiling that just makes it look clean and pristine, if you will. And these windows, again, you have this massive picture window here, no panes, and then 2 on the sides that you can open, which is nice. If you want to let in, some natural airflow, you can do that. And this one is just solid, so it gives you the option. Again, custom builders, their windows, it's a huge difference when you're comparing production and custom. I'll take you this way into the restroom, the primary bathroom. Again, lots of cabinets, storage. You can never have enough storage. I love that they did these here on the ends. You have your double vanity and you have your faucets coming here. Sometimes they're inset into they're inlaid here. In this one, they put them in the wall. Just personal preference. It's a noticeable difference, and it just changes the aesthetic. You have nice hardware. Again, nice cabinetry. You have your nice soaking tub, and then you have your walk-in shower will wrap all the way around. You can meet me on this side if you want. And you've got 3 shower heads, rain head and 2 shower heads here, all with their own controls, and a nice transom window to bring in that natural light. Let's go see the closet. Not gonna lie, this is a nice closet. And I love that you have a window that just brings in more light. Sometimes closets feel dark and dingy. This one feels light and bright. Like, I would wanna get dressed in here. I would just need a full length mirror somewhere and I would be set. I like that you have double racks. You have plenty of built-in shelving. You have this here built-in nice drawers. You could put another one in the center even if you wanted to. And then you have this little cubby here. You have a built-in safe. Just room to store other stuff here. In custom homes too, one of the biggest differences is going to be your doors and your hardware. Tying into that cabinetry and windows, just higher end elevated finishes. You also have the under cabinet lighting. Just think about what that's going to look like in the evening or when it's dark outside. That's just going to make this space feel romantic almost. And then of course you have your water closet here with your toilet with its own door. I like that. That's a must for me. I have to have a door to the water closet. All right, want to go outside first? Let's go check out the patio. So again, we're in the primary suite. You have your own entrance and exit out to the patio. You have this door here that has the built-in blinds. So you can open and close, and then you can also raise them all the way up and down if you want to, but I don't want to do that right now. It'd be my luck. I'd break them or get them stuck. So come on out to the patio. You instantly just feel, it just feels so open out here. The ceilings are tall, you have the tongue and groove, you have surround sound, you have recessed lighting, you have a nice fan that's gonna move some air when it's 110 degrees out here. You have your built-in kitchen. You know, you can use the sink so when you're out here grilling, you don't have to get barbecue sauce all over your door when you're trying to, you know, bring the food in. I know my husband gets a lot of barbecue sauce and smoke on our doors and on our light switches as he's coming in and out from grilling, which I'm so appreciative of. I love his cooking, and he's filming right now and he's making faces at me, so. Fridge, grill, stairs. Now these lots, this is a little over an acre here. So you can see you have plenty of yard, privacy. One thing I really love about this floor plan, this home, is this continues pretty much the entire length of the house. So you have access to this space from the master, you have access from the dining, and you have access from the other wing of the house, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. I really like this floor plan. It's very intentional, especially if you have children and guests. They have their own wing of the house. Let's go check it out. Oh, and these sliders. These are the triple sliders. So on a beautiful day, you can open this up completely. Can you imagine? And just let that air in. Come on in. Again, here's your more casual space for dining. So when we walked in the home, we had the office or the flex space right when you walked in to the right. We have your kitchen, we have the living, we have the other dining, the wet bar, the primary bath, obviously the outside, casual dining, and now we'll take you this way, which is behind the kitchen. So you have a second living space. For my move-up buyers, I know this is something that you look forward to having because you didn't have it previously. So having another place to hang out, play board games with the family. There's a shuffleboard table here. You know, maybe you need a classroom. Maybe you want a theater room, a media room, just to kick back and watch movies, or maybe your husband and your children like to play video games. So here's their space. You also have access to the outside, and you have a half bath right here. So this half bath would be for anybody that's visiting the home, right? Or for anybody hanging out in this space. But what I really like is you have 2 bedrooms here with a full bath in between. So you have Jack and Jill over here and your half bath there. Very intentional, very practical. That way no one has to come in. Your guests don't have to come into a bedroom to use a restroom. They have one right there and it's right off the kitchen. So here's a bedroom, nice closet, double doors, ceiling fans. You do have nice carpet in these 2 bedrooms. Then your Jack and Jill, double vanity. So the kids could be in here, you know, 1 or 2 could be in here brushing their teeth, and then you could close this door while someone else was taking a shower. So everyone's not really fighting over the space. They can all use it at the same time. And then your second bedroom here with its walk-in closet. Now this closet is a little bit bigger than the one over there. So this one is a true walk-in. It has the built-in shelving, 2 racks. Nice. Coming back through the game room. You remember this game? Sorry? I remember playing that. When you build custom homes too, you can really plan out things as far as, okay, where am I gonna put a TV? Where am I gonna hang that mirror? You know, where do I need electrical outlets? Those are all things that you can plan ahead of time to make sure that it's truly what you want. Now we'll take you to the other side of the home where the garage is. Built-in cafe appliances, double oven, microwave, cooktop. That was the wet bar area. Again, nice flow from the kitchen here and from the dining into the wet bar as well. Pantry. Now that is a semi-walk-in pantry. I feel like it could be a little bigger. I feel like this is one space that possibly use a little more space. That's just me. But you do have a lot of cabinets in the kitchen itself and the wet bar, so plenty of places to store things. Laundry room with its own sink and cabinets, washer dryer. You could do a fun tile. This is a wet area, so you definitely want to do tile flooring or some kind of waterproof flooring in your laundry room. Now, this is currently the offices for the sales agents, which is here, but this would be your 3-car garage. And then this bedroom. Now, this is a guest bedroom. It's an ensuite, so it does have its own restroom and walk-in closet. I'm loving this. When you think about multi-generational families and multi-generational living, this is one of those spaces that's just well thought out. And again, now this is completely private from the rest of the home. This is off of the garage. You have your own restroom, your own closet, and it is all the way across the home from the primary. So if your mother or your father, your adult children come back, it's a great place for them. Or if you have a teenager, they'd probably want to be over here too, completely away from mom and dad. This would be where my son would want to be. Nice bathroom, fun tile on the floor. Hung the shower curtain high just to draw your eye up. That's a design element. Nice built-in cabinetry. They have the little niches here, niches for the soaps. Nice soaking tub. Again, nice cabinetry. It's just one of those things that when you're in a home, you can feel the difference. It's not something that a picture can capture. It's more sturdy, just better cabinetry, higher end doors and finishes. You also have the drop zone right when you come in, just to help the family stay organized. I notice here that these have the USB plugs in the outlets. You could add those too. Everybody needs to charge their devices these days, so having those is always helpful. What did you guys think? Beautiful home. Really is very stunning. There's really nothing negative I could say about it. I love the colors, I love the flow. Beautiful home. So today you've seen both sides of Grand Endeavor here in the Preserve at Elm Creek, the fully custom Parade of Homes property I toured last week, and now this inventory model that shows what the starting point can look like. And that's what I think is so powerful about true custom building. You're not choosing between extremes, you're choosing a direction. Whether you want to modify an existing plan or build something entirely from scratch, the flexibility is there. For buyers who are moving up and thinking long-term, that level of personalization really matters. If you're considering building in New Braunfels or throughout the Texas Hill Country, I'd love to help you navigate that process and determine what path makes the most sense for you. All right, before we wrap up, let's zoom out and talk about something just as important as the home itself, location. Because no matter how beautiful a house is, you're still living your everyday life around it. So I want to show you exactly where the Preserve at Elm Creek sits within New Braunfels, what it's close to, and what that commute looks like to schools, grocery stores, medical facilities, and downtown. Let's take a look. All right, so I have zoomed out on the map to show you exactly where Perry Homes inside the Preserve at Elm Creek, which the Preserve at Elm Creek is within Vintage Oaks community. So there's a couple different ways that you could access the Preserve at Elm Creek. If you are commuting from downtown New Braunfels, the quickest way is going to be Highway 46 to FM 2722, and you will come in the back side of Vintage Oaks, and this is the Preserve at Elm Creek right here.
As you can see, this is Highway 46. There are numerous entrances into Vintage Oaks off Highway 46. So if you're commuting from San Antonio every day, here's San Antonio International Airport. From 46, 281. If you're commuting from the airport, you could take 281 to Highway 46 into Vintage Oaks. This commute time from 46 to 281 to the airport is roughly 42 minutes. That's not a bad commute, guys. That's less than 45 minutes into San Antonio to the airport. And again, if you're commuting, from to and from downtown New Braunfels, then that 2722 is going to be a nice little jaunt for you, and it's going to save you some headache of traffic lights, and it's a pretty hill country drive also. And right here on 46 at the intersection of Loop 337 and 46, you do have an HEB. So your grocery store is right here. It would be less than 15 minutes for you. And then again, Loop 337 runs around New Braunfels. So to get to Landa Park here in the middle of downtown, again, it's going to be about a 15-minute commute. Buc-ee's, as you know, sits along I-35. Buc-ee's would take you 25 minutes, and this little X right here, I marked Resolute Hospital. Resolute Baptist Hospital is here. So less than a 30-minute commute and you're to a main hospital. Being in Vintage Oaks, I know I've touched on this before, but I want to just highlight it again. There are two school districts, New Braunfels ISD and Comal ISD. The Preserve at Elm Creek is in Comal ISD, and kids in this neighborhood would go to Canyon Lake High School. Now, some of the ones over here in this portion of Vintage Oaks are going to go to Smithson Valley. And then in the Grove section of Vintage Oaks, some of those are zoned to New Braunfels High School. So just, if that's of importance to you, it is so important that you verify school zoning by specific address, especially within Vintage Oaks. I hope this helps. Again, Landa Park, 15-minute commute, Creekside Shopping, 30 minutes, Resolute Hospital, again, 30 minutes, HEB for groceries and everyday necessities, 15 minutes, San Antonio International Airport, less than 45 minutes.
So to recap, the Preserve at Elm Creek is located on the west side of New Braunfels and offers that hill country elevation and privacy while still keeping you within a reasonable drive to everyday essentials. This community is accessed through Vintage Oaks, but it is its own separate neighborhood with its own HOA. Residents here do not have access to Vintage Oaks amenities. However, most of these homes sit on approximately 1-acre lots, which gives homeowners the opportunity to build their own private pool and truly customize their outdoor living space. This community feeds into Comal ISD, which is highly regarded in the area, and because you're located outside of city limits, the tax rate is approximately 1.47%, which can make a meaningful difference when looking at long-term ownership. For buyers who want space, privacy, that hill country feel, but still want access to grocery stores, hospitals, and downtown New Braunfels, this location strikes a really strong balance. If you're considering building or purchasing here in the Preserve at Elm Creek or anywhere in New Braunfels and the surrounding hill country, I'd love to help guide you through it. I'll see you in the next tour.